Hello and welcome to episode 31 of the Ski Instructor Podcast. My name is Dave Burrows. I'm the director and owner of Snow Parade Ski School based in a very snowy Val d'Illier here in Switzerland. This week I've got a really good interview that I recorded in early December in Verbier, and I took the chance to pop in and see Toby Mallock, who runs two ski schools in Verbier, runs Performance Verbier and Powder Extreme in Verbier. And I had a chance to have a chat with him at his house in Le Charbe, and you're going to hear the content of that in this first half. And we talk about the two ski schools. We talk about also about something that I think comes up quite a lot in Verbier with the terrain that it's got, which is sort of guides versus instructors, and where the demarcation line is between the two of those, off-piste regulations in Switzerland and his own skiing history. Now, this particular podcast has some of it is still accurate, certainly, but we recorded it in early December, and some of the rules have certainly, rules to do with Corona and stuff have changed a lot since then, and some of the stuff that we talked about quarantining and the UK has certainly changed extensively, so you'll hear that sort of later on in the episode, but there's a lot of good stuff in here, so enjoy that, enjoy the first half, and I will be back. Actually got some correspondence for the middle bit, so we'll have a look at that in the middle. Enjoy the first half, and I'll catch you later on. Welcome to the Ski Instructor Podcast, Toby Mallock.
Thank you.
How are you?
Very well.
Good.
Yeah, considering.
No,
very well. Let's be positive.
Yeah.
No, good.
Thank you for welcoming me to your home.
No, pleasure. I'm glad you could be here. It's nice to do it face to face.
It isn't. The face to face ones are, with respect to all the Skypers, the face to face ones are always better.
Yeah.
Because you've got that kind of extra.
It makes me more nervous, though, as I said earlier.
You don't strike me as a nervous I've got to be honest. I have been skiing here in Verbier all week.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I know, not skiing very well, but
I haven't seen you ski. I've seen you sort of standing up a lot, talking.
Yeah, that's my way. We were just talking about drills, weren't we?
Yeah.
And my way is to, I said this to Mike today, who I was skiing with. I said, my way is, I'll get you to do a couple of drills if I really need to. If you don't behave yourself, you'll have to do some drills. But I rely on my ability to explain the concept that I'm trying to do.
Absolutely.
And for you to feel that within
your own.
But
I also really like the fact you use a drill as a punishment rather than the drill as an incentive.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a good way to do it. I always find with certain clients, when you get them to turn their poles upside down and look through a window, for instance.
Yeah. Did you see me doing that one?
No, I didn't. But they look at you as if you are literally mad.
Yeah.
But no, there are, and I think, like we said earlier, I think there's definite need for it. But
What do you ask them to imagine that they're looking at when they look the mirror? Because I was using... what was the one I was looking for earlier? So Mike, who I was skiing with, is sort of similar age to me, so we grew up. So we were talking about supermodels from the 80s or the 90s.
Yeah.
So Claudia Schiffer, I think, was the one I was using the other day. And it can be anything. You can kind of phase that down according to which client's in front of you.
My ex-colleague, who doesn't work with me now,
is this the reason why?
Came up with a. I'm not going to say. I don't think I can say it because it's swearing. But yeah, there's general sort of sexual innuendos in many of these things. I think you have to choose your client correctly with that.
And tread carefully.
No, normally it's just look at the mountain, look through the window, whatever you can see.
There is I think I use that one a lot because I'm convinced, and it was especially the case with the client today, is that he had some very funky stuff with the upper body, and normally you'd work from the ski up.
Yeah.
But often my first thing is to calm down the upper body, the movement and the funkiness in the upper body, and then that really gets the focus.
But it's like remove the movement rather than add a movement, isn't it? And I think that's quite a lot of things that are forgotten in terms of teaching. Is like you don't always need to make someone do something. You could actually say, don't do that, or remove that from their sort of repertoire of movements in their body, and actually it's probably a good way. I find that actually really effective, sort of taking something away rather than putting something in.
There's definitely something to be said, the sort of the calmness and stillness up here allows the body to do what it does. And in his particular case, it's very weird, you won't mind me saying this, but it was a very strange hand that stayed here and one that stayed here, and it had immediately we put the hand from here to here. This is great podcast listening, isn't it? No one can see from the hand next to the hip to kind of where it should be. Had a dramatic effect on the ski. Absolutely, to the point where we were skiing only in La Chaux, and then all of a sudden he's able to ski down the steep pitch on.
Oh, that's a nice feeling then.
Yeah, he's stoked today. Really, really cool. So I'm so happy with that.
I mean, how many times have you had a client that you literally after 3 hours go, there's nothing I can do for you?
We're done here. Anyway, so
down.
Yeah, so Verbier this week. Wednesday's a very, very busy day.
It was, yeah.
It's been lovely. The snow's amazing here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good considering, and actually they've done a really good job as usual to keep it in good quality and up to Mont 4. And there's not many places open. That's why you're here.
I'll be gone as of tomorrow.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
But we're just coming to use your snow before they open up.
No, it's been great. I think
the Soleil.
It's been a tough beginning, but I think they've learnt from their COVID mistakes.
Well, so listener, Verbier, 12th of December. I was here. There was a big scrum to get into the lift, and that got the usual. There was someone took a picture, and it ended up in the press. Immediately the next day, the whole place is surrounded by metal barriers, organising people, arrows on the floor, usual stuff, and that's got better and better as the week's gone along. So now it's super organised, and we're not going to have any of that. But I suppose the big thing is obviously the school holidays start tomorrow.
Yeah, no,
day off Saturday, and so those stations that are going to be open are going to be fairly mobbed. Yeah, I guess. And we're the only country in Europe that is open to ski.
We've got to count our blessings for that.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything about it, but we're just hoping we continue. And I think, you're right. I think we'll see. I mean, there's lots of requirements that we've been asked to do and show to the canton or the commune that we're following all the various guidelines. We've had to sign documents to say that we'll keep to that. So it's quite scary in terms of the comeback on that. But it's making sure our staff, do the best thing and to follow those requirements and make sure they continue doing it to keep this place going. Otherwise, if they don't, we won't.
That's the biggest thing I think that I've noticed, because I've, like you, probably been skiing since the end of October, and the thing that I've really, really noticed the most is how well all of the Swiss, all of the ski instructors, all of the lifties, everyone is working together to keep all of this going and open. It's it's amazing actually to watch. You get the odd idiot who's walking around, not playing by the rules because he's a rebel or whatever. He's soon told by enough people that can just play the game, right? Play the game.
We've been told to tell people if they are doing that to say, look guys, sort it out. Otherwise, you're letting. It's a bit like being at school. The whole class will get reprimanded. Yeah.
So whether you agree with it or not you, the collective.
No, you're right.
Whether you agree with it or not, everyone's kind of working towards a common objective, which I think is one of the best things that I've seen about Swiss skiing this autumn. I think it's really, really cool.
Definitely.
Really, really cool. So, on to the businesses that you run. No, we're going to go there first. The ski school with, in my opinion, the best name ever of all ski schools anywhere in the world. So you run Powder Extreme.
Yeah.
Powder Extreme is such a good name. And Performance, but here in Verbier. How did those two things come about? We'll go into yours kind of skiing history back a bit better later on. But
it's quite complicated. I've been working here for 15 years or so. 2 other ski schools before this one, and I won't get into why I left. I just left for a reason, and I was in a bit of a rush to. I had some clients, and I was like, I think I needed to try and find a way of skiing with these clients this season. And I wasn't a brevet, I wasn't top cert, so I couldn't do it myself. So I had to find a way, and this company, Powder Extreme, had started I think a year before by a lad called Felix and Elsa, who works with me now.
Okay.
And with a view to try and bridge a gap between sort of normal skiing and guides. So using the Brevet Fédéral, which you've got, which gives you the opportunity to ski off piste under certain restrictions. Those restrictions weren't as restrictive as they are now. So Felix had this team of I think probably about three or four guys who were doing Powder Extreme. Literally, they were going out and just hacking it out on the terrain that we've got here. As you know, it's some of the best off-piste terrain, and no one was monopolising on it actually. And I went to Felix, said I need to sort something. I need to get some way of skiing with my clients. Can I just kind of like have a bunch of guys working underneath you? We won't get in your way. We'll do the on-piste stuff. You do the off-piste stuff. But we need a license. We need all the sort of back office stuff and all the insurances and what have you. And he was absolutely well up for it. And I think it's because he knew I had quite a lot of clients and access to operators and ski companies and stuff. So I think he saw that there was a sort of long-term benefit in that, and it obviously suited me. But what generally happened is obviously that kind of off-piste market is still quite small and it's quite niche. So Performance we called it Performance, a different brand if you like, the one I was working with, so it's underneath that using their licenses, and then over the years it kind of grew quite a lot quite a lot faster than Powder Extreme did, and it sort of became the parasite and the host kind of scenario. Go on. It was and we ended up with a team of probably about 20, and they still had a team of 7 or 8. And it kind of worked, but there was obviously a little bit of conflict between who does what, and he wanted more business off me, and what have you. So it was quite tough times, but it worked well, and there were 2 good brands up on the mountain, so I was happy with that. But Felix decided he wanted to branch out and do something different, so he was going to sell, which worried me a little bit, because obviously that in terms of shareholding, I don't know what was going to happen. He was going to come in, whether I had control or whatever. So I decided that we would buy those shares, merge the business, and just put it. It's still 2 separate brands, but basically it's underneath myself and the shareholders. So and that's where we are now, and it's kind of cool.
It is kind
I love the brand. The guys are wicked. It's interesting dealing with 2 kind of separate ski schools and 1 ski school. There's definite challenges, but there's benefits as well, for sure.
Because presumably you've got to have like 2 separate marketing strategies, right? I mean, that's one of the I would say, as an outsider looking in, you know, they're marketed very differently,
massively. They're as separate as you can go. It's almost like snowboarding and skiing, separate in that respect. You know, but actually, it does itself, because Performance as a brand, we work pretty much predominantly with operators. So, you know, the hotels, like we work with 3 hotels up in Verbier now. Ski Verbier, one of the biggest operators, the large, all these kind of providers of holidays. We do all the business comes through them.
Okay.
So I don't do any direct. We do very minimal direct sales. Whilst Powder Extreme is much more direct, much more. The brand is really what sells it. So actually, I focus much more on Powder Extreme in terms of marketing, and it's hard. Really, it's very hard. And you know, it's like dealing with Google Analytics and AdWords. It's like the dark art, and I hate it, but it's got to be done. And you know, I'm learning as I go. And you know,
do you do that?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. I wouldn't say it's interesting. It's stupid. I should get someone to do it.
Well,
I say I do it. I have Antoine, who works sort of the manager, if you like, of Powder Extreme. He's a legend, great skier, snowboarder. He's one of those annoying guys, right? Can do it all, and he's particularly good at it all. Good-looking lad. He's got the gift of the gap, and he does all the sort of like the visual stuff. So you'll see stuff on Facebook. He does some crazy.
I've seen some of the videos.
Like he's just done a weather report, and he did Montgelé, you know. I mean, I don't think there's enough snow on it to be doing it, but he makes it look like it's the middle of the season. Do you know what I mean? And we're like, how do you do that? But he does all that sort of stuff. So, and that's really kind of the nuts and bolts of it. It's the inspiration-y side of things.
Yeah.
People look at that and go, oh. You have to be a bit careful not to say, look at that and go, whoa, there's no way I'm doing that.
Yeah.
We've got to find a balance between inspiring someone to come and ski with us and do the cool stuff, but not make it look like it's almost impossible to do.
Yeah.
And that's the hard bit.
I have this discussion all the time with my marketing guy, is like what I think makes good content is not at all what our clients want to see. And so that's why I don't deal with marketing anymore.
But that's a ski instructor in you, Dave, you see.
Well, it is, yeah. So what we think looks cool,
yeah.
Some like decent turns or whatever, the clients aren't interested in that at all. They want to, they've got their own things that they want to see and that are important to them.
Yeah.
And so our marketing kind of is more focused in that direction. And I learned long ago that marketing isn't my skill. I know what I'm really good at, which is converting inquiries into sales.
Yeah.
Like that's my thing.
Yeah.
It always has been ever since I worked in London. And so now I've outsourced. So within Snow Pros, I've outsourced the marketing element of it, the back office admin element of it, which I was terrible at. Like I'm not a detail oriented person at all, as a lot of us are, I think. And then the accountancy side, so all the financial stuff is outsourced, and so it's just like me sitting like a sort of fat spider at the middle of this web. Just making sure that things are okay, and I completely push these things away from me. So my goal is to say, right, I don't want anything to do with this. Like you're tasked to do this thing, do it, and call me if there's a problem. But if there's no problem, don't call me. Like just leave
I think
it.
It's a business lesson, right?
Yeah.
And I think it takes a while. It took us a while. It took me a while to. And I had other shareholders as well, other partners who aren't with me anymore for various reasons. So this is my first year that I'm on my own actually, as a director, and it's great because I have a bit more.
Did you get rid of them all, like a sort of mafia Godfather style?
They're probably all listening. I was told not to be my wife.
Don't be controversial.
Don't say the wrong thing. But it's quite hard, No, I mean we did it. I did it all myself, and then like you, I had to outsource the back off. You've got 3 or 4 people working in the office, whatever. But I still keep. Marketing's difficult because I don't know how much money I should spend on it. Yeah, that's the issue.
I thought it was 5 or 10% of your turnover. It's supposed to be the magic number.
Is it?
Yeah, but I don't know whether that's the case. I don't even know what I spend on it, to be honest with you. But it seems to generate some stuff. So
yeah, but I mean, it's interesting because if you look at the industry as a whole, there's a lot of sort of ski instructors that have become owners of ski schools and. And I was the other way around a little bit. I was much more like I wasn't a brevet top cert. I think at one point I think just about everyone in my ski school was more qualified than me, which is really embarrassing.
I'm at the same place. All of the guys I employ now are better skiers than me. And I'm like, God,
I'm not sure about that, but
no, they are.
No,
they really are.
So no, I think performance sort of did. Yeah, the marketing aspect, Pad Extreme is much more my focus. Performance, we've outsourced most of the sales to the operators, which is a good way of doing it. And actually listening to another podcast you did, I can't remember who it was, talking about commission and the pain that it is. In actual fact, we rely on it.
Yeah,
we're completely the opposite.
Yeah,
it can be it can be really useful because the way, for example, I work with a Ski Verbier, for instance, they will package it all for me. They'll get the ages, they'll get the groups, they'll sell the lessons. We'll have maybe 2 instructors. It's difficult now with COVID, forget that.
Yeah.
Like a normal time, we might have a chalet with 16 people in it.
Yeah.
And they'll have 3 instructors with that group. It might be adults, kids, whatever. They'll sell those instructors. They'll just send me an email saying I need 3 instructors for a week. They've done the hard work for me.
No, that's brilliant. Yeah.
And that way it's just, of course you can get commission.
Yeah.
The office, it takes 5 minutes to book it.
Yeah.
Rather than have to go through the rigmarole of direct sales, where you have to sort of sell the actual product to the person, convince them that it's worth the money. Yeah. That's the big one.
Yeah.
And as you say, Verbier, it's a strange place in terms of what you get.
Definitely a bubble.
It's a bubble, but it's a good. It's an opportunity.
Oh,
it certainly was when we started. I saw it. In terms of the cost per booking is very high. People are spending upwards of $3,000 per booking on an average. You don't get that in France so much. It's much more like technical lesson. I'll do 2 hours here. That's it. And it's not a lie, as you've said many a times in your podcast. We do quite a lot of lunches, and it's a different market. It's nothing that I'm. It's nothing to be particularly sort of guilty about in terms of the way we do it.
Each resort has its own flavour, doesn't it? And each ski school has its own, I'd say, in-house style. I was talking to my colleague Max about this yesterday. So, and I guess there are certain ski schools who are employing people for their ability to guide wealthy people around and chat with them over lunch and know about wine menus and whatnot. In my ski school, it's not the case. We are primarily we're there to teach, and we have our market, and that's what it is. But each resort is different. And Verbier, and I'd say Verbier, Zermatt, same where it's like you lump those all into the same thing, and that will be
some Courchevel, and parts of it.
And there are certain, it attracts a certain type of client group, and we're not in a place that we do that. So it'd be silly for us to focus on that.
No, and I get a lot of the guys who ended up with their brevets, or they've done a lot of the Basie stuff or similar systems, and they're all like, I want to do some sort of performance camps, and I'm like, well, one, I'm competing with the marketing master that is Warren, and I can't, the best of the world. It's a tough one. And secondly, there's not really a market here, because we don't bring people to Verbier. We deal with the people who are here. It's a different thing. But I think the interesting thing is it's actually a lot harder than people think to do that, in terms of the guiding thing. The requirements of some of the clients are just ridiculous.
I can imagine.
And you just have to do it. You have to fulfill that requirement, and it's not as easy as what people think. I think there's a sort of illusion that we just mince around and eat steaks on stones in Carrefour, but it's which we do. But but at the same time, it's we've got to manage what the other guys what they want to do, and the stories are endless in terms of what people have had to do to fulfill it. But it is what it is.
With I wanted to just steer you back towards powder extreme, because I'm interested in this, that there is always in Valais, I think maybe in Switzerland in general, but there's always this tension between high mountain guides and guys like powder extreme guys who are sort of specialising in off-piste environment. What's that look like sort of day to day from your perspective? Do you get that tension, or is it? Yeah. Because the definition here in Switzerland is it's the same as in France. It's glaciated, non-glaciated.
It's not the same, actually.
It's not.
No,
okay.
It's much more specific. It's become more specific over the last 2 years. I think it was.
They changed the guidance, didn't they, a couple of years ago?
Yeah, the ordinance changed last year, the year before, and you have this. Powder Extreme was built. Just to give you history, so it makes it easier.
Yeah, please do.
Powder Extreme was sort of templated off something called Extremely Canadian, which you may have heard of.
No.
So that's like basically, again, it's kind of like a bridging between the heli skiing and the normal skiing. These guys were going off and doing sort of backcountry stuff.
Okay.
And it was just all that was the whole market. You won't see anyone. It's not heli skiing, but it was going off backcountry.
Yeah.
So Felix came up with the idea of doing it here, which was made total natural sense. So it is very much off-piste, and I think in the old days it was very much a case of, I have to be careful because I can't remember exactly what the law was because I wasn't dealing with it at the time. But certainly no glacier, certain other things. But I think over the years, the guys have seen not just our team, but brevets in general doing, especially just Verbier as well, pretty much. Sort of doing things that they deemed as being reckless and silly or not correct. So I think the association, again I can't remember the name of it, run by the canton, headed up by a guy used to be called, the last guy was in it, was called Pierre Mette, and their job was to sort of work out exactly where that law would go between the guides and us and the brevets. So they came up with a new way of doing it. So I think initially it was based on the avalanche risk. If you remember that. So if the higher the avalanche risk, the less degrees you could.
Yeah, there was a matrix, wasn't it?
Which is impossible. It's so hard because where one run doesn't have one. It's not just one complete easy gradient. It changes. So is it you taking one part of it, the steepest part, or the flattest part, or whatever. So they kicked that down the road, and they decided they'd just do it on just a flat 40 degrees descent. So 40 degrees descent, 36 degrees ascent, so you can skin 36 degrees. It's a bizarrely arbitrary number.
Yeah.
There's rationality behind it, and I'll explain that in a minute.
Okay.
No glaciers, and no fall zones. That's one of the key ones, which again is like you can't enter areas. For example, backside of Montfort and Verbier, which is a quite classic run, isn't it? It goes around a glacier. There are non-glacial areas you can go, so you could do it without hitting a glacier, but there is a very steep entrance to it, which is deemed as a no-fall zone. If you fall, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So that kind of stops you from doing those sort of runs. The 36 degree up is the one that I never really understood, but I think there are certain runs that you won't be able to access, if you know what I mean.
It's just like access prevention issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not necessarily for a safety point of view. I'll leave it at that, and you can divulge out of that what you will.
Okay. Yeah.
So is it protectionism? Is it not? Again, who am I to say? But those are the rules. Then the rules, and we have to follow them. We are the only ski school that I know pretty much in the Alps. Maybe. No, I think there's one in Val d'Isère that does similar to us in terms of just off piste, like fully focusing on off piste coaching.
Yeah. So
we are totally under the microscope all the time.
Couldn't imagine.
And I have meetings with guides all the time. My neighbour's a guide.
Okay.
So we've got to be careful, and it's hard, and it's not always fair for sure.
Is it tense, or are you on pretty good terms with those guys?
It depends on the scenario. We have a ski school association here, which you might have.
I surely do. Yeah.
And we have our assembly general on Friday, and the guide is involved, and we come up in it every time, and not always for fairly or for good reason. So it is quite tense. It can be quite tense, but as long as we do what we're told to do and we follow the rules, I don't see the problem.
No,
personally.
No. Yeah.
But the issue, it's obvious. It's logical. It's a resort full of fantastic off-piste terrain.
Sure is.
There are a lot of guys based here, but a lot of guys come in from other areas, Savier's, Dow, Sion area, or whatever from Nunda to come and ski here because it's the best skiing you can get. So there is a lot of guides who are worried potentially about, us doing things and taking clients potentially. Yeah. But it's a cycle, So we can work together to work out how to pass clients on and work together to make sure we're not being pushed to do things that we shouldn't be doing by clients, for instance, who should end up going to guides. We should be saying, okay, no, we can't do that.
Pass those on.
I've got this guy who's really good, and he can take you. That should be the natural cycle. It's just hard to get everyone to do that.
Yeah.
Or at least sort of, take on that concept. And including the guys who work for me, they don't always agree with me. But, it's the way life is.
Yeah. Okay. It's super interesting, and like you say, everywhere you look here, you just look at the scale of the potential terrain and like where you could get yourself to. It's just extraordinary. I could see why.
It is, and it's that would. But this is a federal law. It's at the top level. But if you go to Andermatt, for instance, and ski there, you'll find Pete Brevet's doing things at guides that you probably shouldn't be doing. But it's just not on the radar.
Yeah.
So you won't have people looking, checking that sort of thing. But here it's all the time. People are checking, and
because it's probably the closest, most accessible extreme terrain.
Totally.
Yeah. Interesting.
The challenge, but
Yeah, no, but it's interesting. It's interesting that you have that problem because it's not. Yeah, it's the same discussion that we were having a minute ago about what your ski school kind of specialises in, or what kind of your area attracts. We do a minimal amount of kind of off-piste stuff because it's just not a thing where we are. It's sort of family friendly, so you ski with kids all the time. That's essentially our role. I suppose it depends where you plonk yourself, right?
It does, and actually, if I go back to when I got here, and if I said I'd been dealing with this sort of stuff, then I probably would have thought twice about the idea of it.
Yeah.
But I really believe in powder extreme as a concept. Like it does bridge a gap between, someone who's sort of getting to that point where they're like, oh, I just want to be able to ski that, and they just don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
But isn't necessarily ready to go with a guide who technically, really, if they're just a guide and they've only got a UIDM qualification, they can't teach. They're not instructors, so they don't teach. I mean, there are a couple of guides that have both, and fair play, they're brevets and they're guides. Well, of course they can teach, but they don't. That's not really what they do. So there is a need for a company like us to do that, or brevets generally.
Well, this is the point I was going to make to you, because there is the vast majority of clients that we come across, we as an industry are not going to be able to ski 35 degrees off piste. Generally, like that we come across. Maybe you're when the phone
40 descent.
Yeah.
So it's steep.
Yeah.
It's steeper than people think. And actually, the amount of times we've been going out trying to find something that is 40 degrees, and actually gone, I'm really happy to go and ski that. It's actually, it is not. Yes, of course I will ski 40 degrees, but it's not something that I do regularly, because it is quite hard.
Yeah.
It is a strange sort of steepness that they've chosen. But let's be realistic. To ski 40 degrees, you're probably going to have a sketchy entrance, which will write that piece, that pitch off. If that makes sense.
Okay. So that's where the no-fall zone.
That's where the no-fall zone bit comes in, and so it is a kind of a. Yes, it's a law, but there's grey bits everywhere in that. And like you say, do clients want to ski that? No. I mean, majority of the clients want to learn how to get off the piste into something cool. Some of the fun stuff and in Verbier, Savalair, for instance, the trees. It's probably not even 30 degrees. Yeah. Great skiing though. Yeah. That's the stuff we do and we want to do. Yeah. And the clients want to do. There are not that many situations when we need to do the front side of a steep mountain like Montgelé. Because clients aren't that bothered. They're just, it's not. Some do for sure, but it's not a regular occurrence. So really, inside the business and the need for client or the requirements of clients is actually pretty easy stuff most of the time. Okay. But trying to find things with no tracks in is almost impossible.
It is here. Oh goodness. Yeah. Well, this is everything gets tracked out so quick, doesn't it?
It does, and
everyone knows everything.
Well, the thing is, everyone does the same loop, right? So as soon as it snows, they get in the lift and they go off and get in the Funi Spas and they're going to go and do Creblé, or you'll literally do the same thing. And I think what the Pad Extreme guys are good at is going. Well, we'll go completely different. We'll go somewhere. We'll go further afield, or do Savalair, or somewhere where we wouldn't expect to go for a powder day. Bruzon, for instance. Yeah. Fantastic in the trees, and that's kind of where that's the beauty of having someone like that because they're going to find
local knowledge. Where to go and when. Yeah.
Stressful, but trying to first thing someone wants is I want on track powder.
So okay. Yeah. Tough to find sometimes.
It is sometimes.
Tell me how you washed up here in Verbier. For want of a better phrase, it's not a great one, but that does seem to be the way that ski villages are. People arrive and often never go home. I think to them like of them like little desert islands or whatever. But well, what was your story to get here? How did you come here?
Well, I suppose I worked in London like yourself for quite a long time.
What were you doing?
I was in IT. Great fun.
Were you?
In tech.
IT geek.
Yeah, that's why I left, because I just hated it. I was like, it wasn't the work. It was like everyone's like, "Oh, such a geek." And I'm like, right, now I'm done with this.
I'm not a geek. Show you.
So I worked. So I took a year off, went to New Zealand. I had no interest in being a ski instructor. That's for sure. That was never a plan.
Could you already ski then?
Yeah, I skied since I was 3.
Okay.
My parents
were
skiers. Yeah. We lived in Germany. We skied in a little place called Winterberg, in the middle of Germany. We did race training. Because my dad had so much time off with the army, because he had these big kind of block leave times, we used to go to ski clubs and do race training in Teen, everywhere.
Oh, cool.
And we did it in Verbier quite a few times when I was about 5 or 6. And then, so I had no interest in ski instructing. I thought that was going to ruin my passion, like everyone says, don't they? Yeah. And then I went to New Zealand, and someone said to me, "You should do a guy called Colin Tanner, who you might know."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he runs
I'd love to get an interview with
New Zealand, and obviously Valdezer.
Yes. That's right. He works with Ice, doesn't he?
No, it's
the other one.
Solomon. Oh, embarrassing.
Sorry, whoever you are.
Sorry, Colin.
Yeah.
Come to me. The Development Centre, TDC. So
with Giles.
Yeah. So he said to me, "Mate, you should do doing instructor course. I said, well, why would I want to do that? It's no interest in doing that. Well, because you'll become a better skier, and you're a good skier, but this will make you a better skier. And I'm like, all right, so I did it, and I really enjoyed it, and then decided I actually quite enjoyed to teach it. So decided to go to France, thinking that would be a good idea. Yeah. I knew nothing about levels, law, any of that business. Yeah. And so I applied for a job in Courchevel with a company called Ski Cocktail, who you know. Jean-Yves. And got the job with a level 1 New Zealand, which I thought was wicked. Didn't know anything. Obviously got to Courchevel, and someone said, what have you got? I said level 1 New Zealand, said you can't teach here, and it sort of became all that. Everyone got arrested regularly.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah. Well, actually, it was my birthday. I was living in, where was I living? Down the bottom, Brie-de-la-Ban.
Yeah.
And in Le Pras, I had my birthday, so I organised a birthday party in a restaurant with the instructors, the only people I knew. Yeah. Turned up on my own and waited for about 40 minutes. I was like, where's everyone? Eventually got a phone call saying they're down in Moutier or somewhere in prison. No. Yeah, having all their statements rewritten. So
this was back in the Wild West days.
I don't know how I got away with it, but I did run away from the gendarme once from Courchevel, which was quite amusing, in ski boots, managed to get away. But then that was the year that all closed down. Yeah. So I ended up just bumming really for the season. Yeah. So I came back to do some more training 1 year, and then I came here to see a mate in Verbier who was an ex-military guy. Got here. I think we had quite a big night out, and I thought this was fun, so I'll stick around for a bit. So I came for the weekend, ended up staying in the season.
I see, this is how it happens.
And there we go. That's it. I haven't missed one since. That was in
You've been here ever since?
5 or 6 or something.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's...
And you made your whole life here, right? So
I've now moved here, got the kids here, and it's...
Kids are in local school?
Kids in local school.
Doing alright?
Yeah, I love it.
Good.
Proper Swiss Spaniard accent.
Yeah.
Quite amusing.
I'm amazed when I hear my daughter speak French.
Yeah.
She sounds like a proper little local.
It's
like, where does that come from? I don't know her. She's almost 4. Her French is already better than mine.
Yeah, well, Casper's he's 6 and his is annoyingly good, but he's starting to get this really annoying American English accent.
Oh really?
I don't know how to get rid of, and it winds Caroline, my wife, up like you'd never believe.
Where's he picked
I don't know. It's just really annoying. I can cope with the local dialect. That's fine. That makes sense. He's here, but English and he's whatever. We'll see. We'll kick it out of him somehow.
That's interesting.
But yeah, no, we love it here. It's always somewhere you wake up to happy. It's just fantastic.
I would be looking out the window. It's it could be worse, couldn't it?
Yeah.
My life is here now. I went actually for the naturalisation interview.
How did that go?
Recently, I went. Well, my wife is Swiss, so I'm quite lucky. But I went down to see the policeman. That's how they're doing it now. Normally the policeman comes to your house, but I'm guessing in COVID times he doesn't come to your house. So we didn't have to tidy up or anything like that. Good. I'll clean the house to within an inch of his life. So we went to the police station. He asked me a few things. He asked me 2 different types of cheeses, Swiss cheeses. Asked me about William Tell and the 1291 thing, and and it was it was. I wouldn't say it was extensive, but if you hadn't have prepped, you wouldn't. You'd struggle. No, I don't know. It's gone. It's been sent back to Bern now. The policeman interview is part of the process.
Right.
And
it was all right. Done it. We were thinking of doing it, but
I think it's
squeaky bums trying to do that properly.
I don't know how. So for example, the language test is now separated, so you can go and do that as a standalone kind of module, if you like, of it. You can go and do that, and I took that, and it wasn't that bad. I think if you operate a business in French, it's okay. I think it'll be all right. But yeah, so it involved quite a lot of prep. I learned a lot about how Switzerland functions as a country, to do with the cantons and all that sort of stuff, through prepping for that interview, which was only half an hour, but you have to learn everything.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool process. But I'm kind of more bought into now. I understand more.
Do you
about
remember the 3 first cantons for the
I do. Yeah, go on. I do. Like the Uri, Schwitz, and Unterwald.
It'd be embarrassing if you got that wrong, wouldn't it?
Well, it would be, especially Unterwald doesn't exist anymore. They split it. It's 2 cantons.
Yeah.
You're going to test me.
I'll get the last word. And
yeah. I don't know the names of the guys who came, but it was it's really. But that was one of my questions. So he asked me. So that process has got 3 different. This is a massive digression, listener. Sorry, but that thing has got 3 different things. So it was like the meeting. It's a sermon of Grootly, and then there was a pact of Grootly, and then there was something else. And the actual document lives in a museum in Luzern or something.
Have you read the book Swiss Waiting?
Swiss
Waiting, it's called.
Is it?
Yeah, guy, I can't remember who wrote it.
I've read one called Swiss Watching.
Swiss Watching.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay. Swiss Watching. I can't remember. Yeah, what's his name? Dicon Buis.
That's it. Yeah,
it's a really good book, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really funny.
There's some really niche bits in that. But it's I don't know. I love it here. I really love it here. And I love everything about it. I hope you enjoyed the first half of this chat that I had with Toby. These in-person interviews are they always have that sort of little extra bit of interaction that you get from a kind of human face-to-face interaction, and that's something that I think is sadly lacking in modern life, with the amount of Zoom chats and stuff that I've been on, certainly before the winter and indeed now for business point of view. And I think a lot of the kind of the nuance of the conversation is missed from time to time, when we're doing stuff online. So yeah, you can really hear the fun that we had coming across in this interview. I got some correspondence. So we are here, episode 31. People are starting to write to me. So I've got a couple of hellos to say first. So one, Jamie Stevens wrote to me. Hi, Jamie. And I've had a lovely chat with Jamie, and he was talking about being out here in Switzerland, setting up a ski school here and stuff like that. So I've had a lovely chats with him, and hopefully he's going to make it out here once the COVID stuff dies down in the UK and gets back on track towards his ambitions. So hi, Jamie, to you. Hello to random Spanish guy that I met in a ski lift in Verbier in December. Didn't catch your name. I saw you there at Lac de Vaux going round and round with me, and it was a pleasure to meet you and a pleasure to chat with you and hear your story about how you managed to get here from Madrid and your epic journey back on the train. So yeah, nice to meet you too. And then I got an email from a guy called Max Dixon. Now Max rides, he's a professional motorbike racer, right? So this was super interesting to me, and he sent me a long and really, really interesting email, which I loved, and we sent some stuff backwards and forwards. But one of the things that he wrote in this email, I'm just going to quote it. Okay, so he said, back to the original point. Before I went off on a tangent, but one that I thought might be of interest to you, as you have seen similar things. When you make the transition on skis, I find it has a very similar feeling to the change of direction on a motorbike. I think it's because although most people don't realise it, when you ride a bike, you are using a lot of lower body muscles, and you're actually putting a lot of pressure through the pegs to assist in changing direction, as well as counter-steering on the bars. And the faster you are going, the more work they do due to the gyroscopic effect, as well as the fact that as with skis, the bike will go from leaning on the left to leaning on the right and vice versa, but obviously pass through the vertical in the process, while you, the rider, transfer your weight up and across the seat and then back down on the other side, which isn't a million miles away from a skiing movement. He goes on to say, another factor that I find is that both the skiing and motorcycling are totally individual. You can both ride and ski with other people, but actually doing the activity, you're in your own headspace and going off your own intrinsic feeling for skis and the bike. And yeah, Max absolutely nails exactly what I've been sort of rattling on about for the last 31 podcasts, that the transition feeling between motorbiking and skiing is incredibly similar in terms of a feeling for me. And I found that really, really interesting to receive that. So thanks very much, Max. I appreciate you sending that and taking the time to get in touch with me. Part 2 of the podcast carries on. There's a lot of Brexit and COVID chat in this one. It's quite heavy on this in the second half. It's not negative doom and gloom. It's just about us talking about how we're going to try and find a way through this season, which seems to be playing out. But you never know where we're going to go at the moment. The trying to work around the rules to do with COVID at the moment as a ski school director is just like trying to nail down jelly. It changes from week to week. One week we're worrying about the R number, the next thing we're worrying about different strains of COVID from different countries. It never ends. So yeah, let's. My view at the moment is we just keep on going until someone says to me that I can't keep going, and then we'll go from there. We last finished up in this chat with a bit of talk about teaching styles within the ski school and people from different backgrounds of formation and how you make a team. So enjoy the second half of this. I've got a couple of really good interviews lined up. I'm off to Zermatt soon enough to interview Federico Cellini, who's the chairman of IASI now, and I'm just setting up the one up after that. So enjoy this, and I will catch you on the next one. Which brings me on to my next topic, Brexit.
Oh yeah.
How's that for business? Or is it, what's affecting you more at the moment? Is it COVID or Brexit?
I don't even know anymore.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
think any one of these problems hits a company. It's hard as it is, just one of them having it all happening at once. With all the things happening even with Basie in terms of like the we won't get into that, but and actually I want it to fit. I want that to work, right? It's important that we get our association, the British Association, back to full strength. But I think COVID is a problem for sure, big problem for us at the moment.
So it's more.
But I think Brexit. You see Brexit.
The Brexit has affected us behind the scenes. So probably listening, you won't see this if you're coming as a regular customer. But behind the scenes, if you've had anywhere near the difficulties that I've had with regards to getting the permits for your instructors to be here this season, if they're British, that's been a right pain.
Well, do you know what? They're pretty clear on what we had to do. We had to get them in by the 4th of December. Otherwise, they couldn't guarantee they were going to do it, which is fine. It's pretty easy this season to do that because I was actually trying to reduce the numbers of instructors we had anyway for this season.
Yeah, me too, right?
Well, I mean, like we've got a good loyal bunch. They're all good mates as well, and I guarantee them work, which is an unusual situation to do. But this is the only way I can. I have a responsibility. I have a duty of care for the guys, and I want to make sure they can earn enough money to have a good season and have some savings. Right?
It costs a lot to live here, too, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So there is I take it very seriously to get it right. So that wasn't so much of a problem this season. They've just said that you can do the announce. The 90-day thing. You can do that in January now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. They've just changed the rules.
Oh, I've learned something today. Brilliant.
That's good. So you can,
because up to this point, it's been you have to do the announcement. It has to be done by the 31st.
Otherwise, they've extended it.
Oh, sweet.
But they've also said the minor gap thing that happened. Do you remember last year? That's now coming into effect for January. I think that's what they're planning. So it's 3,500 permits in total for the country, of which 1,400 are L's.
Yes.
Which
does that the short-term announces come into that?
No. Separate.
Okay, well,
an L permit's an L permit.
Because you run quite a long season here.
Yeah.
You're a longer. Presumably, your guys are. So this is so technical. I don't know if this is not going to be interesting to anyone.
Probably not.
There are two different types of L permits, isn't there? So there's a short-term announce, which technically is not an L. It's just like you're here for a bit, and then there's a full-on L, like 90-day L, and then a longer L.
Yeah, sort of thing.
And presumably, because you run a long season here, your guys are on sort of that.
Most of them are L's, but if I have someone start the beginning of Jan or now, 90 days would probably suffice for the period that they need to work. Okay. Basically, unless we have a massive Easter, which could happen this year. But Easter tends to be quite quiet here now, which is sad. But no, it hasn't really hit us hard. Is it going to hit us hard? I don't know. I don't think so, because I still think people will come here. I still think that you will. Although a lot of our clients are Anglophones, they're not all from UK. That's for sure. They're from everywhere. Yeah. So especially with the hotels, so we get everything now. Yeah. We're getting a lot more French, so I need to look at how we sort of service that long term with the instructors, because a lot of English instructors for us, but we still have I think we have about 10 or 15 that speak French.
Okay.
So it's a reasonable amount.
Yeah.
But, I'm not too worried.
I think people will still come.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the thing, right? We're not going away.
No.
The biggest issue I think is with, at the moment, so this season, Brexit it'll play itself out, like however it's going to play itself out, is my view, and I think it's been handled badly. I think it's been handled incompetently, but it'll be whatever it is, and something's got to give in that.
Well, there is a special relationship between Switzerland and the UK.
Yes,
and so they've already made their tread their cards in terms of what they want to do for the permits. And I think everyone, certainly when someone came up to me and said, there's only 1,400 permits. I'm like, well, think about it. There's really short-term seasonal permits. Where are they in Switzerland? They're not in cities.
No.
They're in resorts, really. And which resorts actually have a lot of Brits in them? Well, there's not that many either, really. So actually it's not probably that much of a problem.
No. I'm with you on that. I think the biggest issue that's stopping, so hopefully this won't date very badly, but the biggest issue is that when people return from their holidays to the UK or wherever it is they're going back to, they're going to have to stay at home. I think it's 5 days now.
Yeah.
5 days plus a test. And before it was 14 days plus a test. 14 days with no test. But that's too much. Like, that's too disruptive to people's lives.
It is. I think it is if you've got kids.
Yeah.
I think that I actually met a guy, a lady in the W today, and she was. I said, "Where are you from?" She said, we're in the UK." And I said, "Well, you're doing the 5 days?" Yeah, well, it's fine. We'll work from home.
Yeah.
And actually, we've had quite an interesting request from corporates as well, because they will come here. If they go to a hotel, there's no huge restrictions in terms of how many people you can have in there. Mm-hmm. So it's not like chalets where you can only have 10.
Yeah.
Hotels you can fill them.
Yeah.
So you could have a company come out here, do their usual corporate trip, do their seminars, whatever they have to do.
Eat in a hotel
and
restaurant.
they're going to eat, they're going to have ski with us, and then they're going to come back, and then they're going to work from home for 5 days.
Yeah, that's no big deal, because that's what they're doing already, isn't it?
So, I think our sort of family market is destroyed. Pretty much.
It's very complicated to come here if you've got a family.
What we've got on the books now for next week and the week after, Christmas, New Year, are basically people from Belgium and some UK, but not many.
People that can drive here, basically.
Yeah.
And I guess loads of families from Geneva, Zurich, and expats. Which
is fine, and everyone will be working, so I'm pretty chuffed about that. And that's 23 plus 23 performance and 8 Pad Extreme. That's quite a lot of people.
Well, that kind of reflects our own picture of bookings.
Yeah.
And this season, or maybe we'll come to this, but this season we're busier than ever over this period. Sorry, that's the wrong to say.
No.
Busier than
you might well be.
in a period of like 4 or 5 years since I started the ski school. This will be our busiest period in this period that we've ever had. And I reduced the team by a couple, but still everyone's working. Right? There is a demand that people want to go skiing. You cannot lock people in their house for 6 months on end. 9 months is bloody now, because it's this March, and expect there not to be some sort of response where people want to get outside and go and do something. Sure. And that seems to be all right. We're not going to get the scared people for sure, because they're going to stay at home and they're going to do their thing.
One of my Dutch instructors had a client who was so concerned about COVID, but still came skiing. Yeah. And that seems to be reoccurring. There's a lot of clients who are coming and they're just saying, like, we need to make sure we follow all the rules. I'm like, absolutely. Everybody wear a mask at all times. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
They didn't want to have lunch with the instructor. That's fine. Yeah. That's the thing. And talking to all the staff over the summer, had to talk to every single person, and for an hour each. It's quite a lot of hours of chat. And it was like, do you understand what we're going to have to do? And they're like, yeah, for sure, and we're going to make it happen, and we're going to be flexible, follow the rules, and so there's kind of, it's interesting, because I think if you look at next season, if we will survive this, it's not even that it's not an option not to.
I'm less worried about that.
Next season, if God willing, we're back to a reasonable normal. The guys are going to have this kind of like fire in their belly because they've seen how bad it can possibly be.
Yeah.
We've learned how we can sort of deal with the hardships, and then that's going to make people. It's going to be stronger for sure.
Yeah.
The general feeling, and I've got a team meeting in a minute. Actually, the general feeling generally with the guys is just positivity and strength towards getting as much work as they can. It's great. I like that.
Yeah,
because I came into the season pretty depressed, if I'm honest, and they've dragged me out of it a little bit, which is nice.
What changed it for me was that there was one of the federal council meetings, I can't remember which one, but there was one where everyone was expecting them to just put the hammer down on people, and that was that. And they went in completely the opposite direction. And at that point, I was like, right, okay, I'm seeing what I think I see. Is I'm saying that Switzerland is just going to try and go in a slightly different direction to the rest of Europe. We're going to just get on with our lives and try as best we can to manage what's going on in the hospitals, which I think is pragmatic, and that would be the Swiss way of doing things. This sort of pragmatic way of doing things. And after that, I was like extremely positive. I was like, okay, well, cool. Let's just get on with it then. I don't want to hear any negative talk from anyone. I'm going to stop listening to the media until every now and then I will. But let's just try and get on with business and just see if we can all be positive and get through the season without it being interrupted in any way, shape or form. Yeah. And that has been backed up in my little, if you watch the local news here, listen to the local kind of politicians and stuff here, I think Darbelet in Valais has been really good about this because he's pointing out the obvious double standards about skiing, that you can, if you shut down the ski stations, you absolutely cannot have open down towards Geneva the shopping centres or the train stations or any of that stuff, because it's the same.
I mean, you have to look at Oxford Street. Apparently, it's just a disaster, and and then someone's wondering about having 90 people in a cable car. Look, I get it. But it is what it is. If someone was saying, you need to reduce the amount of people in the resort. You can't. I think the way they're doing the 2/3 rule in terms of you can only have 2/3 of the capacity into the lift, is it going to make a difference? No,
not really sure. All it does is it moves the problem outside.
It does a bit, but it's a level of appeasement that needs to be done to see that there's something's been done. And I think if France would open, it would be the same. I'm sure.
Well,
but we've got to say that we're lucky that we
are open. We can do it. I do feel sorry, I have to say, for our French colleagues. Yeah. And Italian, I guess, and Austrian and wherever, all these guys that are having their businesses decimated. I think that's piss poor, and I'm really annoyed about that. And also, it puts like I say, the obvious double standards just don't apply. In France, especially Christmas skiing is quite a big thing. It's quite cultural. Be the same, Italy and Austria as well. People come, they spend some time with their family, they get out, get some exercise. Instead and then you look at the impacts on the businesses. I mentioned this on the podcast before. I've got friends who just got nothing. There's nothing in the diary. An entire season's income lost. And a lot of the people that work over there, they rely on winter to get them through the summer. Yeah, I have no idea how the authorities think that the mountain communities work. It drives me bananas.
I just don't think. I don't think they do. Sadly, I think
they do. I don't think
too many markets to deal with and too many sort of industries to deal with. I guess skiing seems to be, or snow sports is quite on the bottom of the list. One might say, to a certain extent. But I think. You talk about diaries. I'm looking at January. There's not much there.
No.
So there is kind of. It's going to be last minute at best.
Now, I was speaking to our mutual friend Julian the other day, and he was saying to me that the gap course has come back into fashion, and I've seen it in my own eyes this week. There are millions of gappies up here doing a gap thing, which apparently has been on the decline for a number of years, but all of a sudden, I'm guessing because there's nothing going on in France, the traditional chalet boy and girl route is all dying a death.
Obviously one of the up and coming gap sort of areas is also a lot of them have moved here. I'm gutted I'm not involved in gap.
I was going to say you can't see it, listener, but Toby's crying. Right.
There is some struggles with that now, because obviously the 5 rule means that the big groups are now split to 2. You have to have two. You either have to sort of split the the day's up or something, or add another trainer, and then obviously your margins are affected.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's hard. Every day something changes. Every day we have to adapt. It's an interesting scenario to be in, and I think we talk. All the ski schools here talk a lot.
Yeah,
we'll have slightly different views on things, and I think there is a feeling that there's quite a lot of politics and toxic feeling between schools. I don't agree with that 100%. We work with a lot of schools together, certainly with our hotels. Because at hotels we can't always service all the clients, so we outsource a lot of work to other schools. It's a nice thing to do. Like, it works, and we actually have an agreement, and it's an unusual position to be in. But I like it, and it's like what I think Lynn was on the podcast once, Lynn Mill, and she was saying that I think she's in Val. She's saying that there's a lot of a very community feel between the independents and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important, and now more than ever, that we can work together and try to sort of distribute work a little bit to people.
I think that is one thing that is going to be extremely important this season, and I hope it doesn't go the other way, because in a time like this, it has an opportunity to go both ways.
Yeah.
It has, there is the working together route, but the other route, which I'm expecting to see a little bit of,
let's take everything for yourself.
Well, yeah, from the smaller minded people, or will be, oh, you guys aren't doing it right, or denouncing other people. I can see that situation coming up in certain places as well, and I hope it goes the other way. I hope it's kind of like we're all working towards a common objective, which is let's get through the season, and then we all come back better next year. But I really hope, and I really, this is my plea to everybody, let's not go down the route of where we're all trying to protect our little slice of the pie, because it shouldn't work like that, and it just can't work like that in this environment. But there are people with that kind of mindset kicking around.
I think everyone's got a level of that in their head anyway.
I don't know. I haven't. I'm completely.
Yeah, sure. I think the utopian ski resort doesn't exist.
Absolutely, I've got little dolls sticking pins in.
When we started with the W, which is obviously a big hotel, and we've actually got in the ski room, we've got someone who works for us in the ski room that does helps with the skis and all that sort of stuff. And so they've saved on the resource as a hotel, because we put someone in there 7 days a week, but they do all the bookings for the ski school. We run everything. We call it the mountain concierge. So they've run all the concierge for the whole of the 126 bed hotel. But like I said, we can't always do it. We can't always do all the work, especially in the peak periods. So we went to every ski school and said, who wants to work with us? And we got some people saying, no, why would I help you sort of build your business? And then we had some others saying, Christ, I'm not going to say no to work. And those relationships have got better and better and more sort of close, and I like that idea, but I can see why people sort of go, well, why would I work with you? Because why would I want to make you bigger than us, or make more money, or whatever? I don't know. It's difficult. I think I can see that. I can definitely see that.
I see their argument, but I think in this kind of environment, it's about trying to drag as many people as we can up here, right? In COVID times. Later on, I think it's a luxury thing to be thinking about, is about how well someone else is doing.
Sure. And I think there's this kind of strange obsession with how big your ski school is, or especially in Verbier, there's 13 ski schools. It's outrageous. Some of the ski schools are 2 people big. It's not like they're fundamentally 2 independent instructors that have a brand. I welcome it. I think it's fine. They should be. It's definitely made this resort more competitive, and actually driven the quality up for sure, by having more people coming and going, I've got an idea, let's try this, and suddenly, Christ, they're doing really well, we need to up our game a bit, and try and do this, and that sort of, I'm sure there's an economics term for it, but it just drives the quality, and everyone wins from that, I think, including the client, for sure.
I think so.
But I think a bit of collaboration is a good thing.
I've been doing a little bit, but early season's been difficult to. My guys aren't already here, and I've been working with a couple of independents here and there. I've had Phil over from Aosta, and I've worked with Charlotte a little bit from Linda, and it's just been lovely actually to see some different. It's nice to see someone with a different approach. From what you're doing. It's like, oh, cool. Well, they've never seen anyone do that before. Fine. That works really well for me. you're robbing ideas off other people. It's great.
Yeah, and I had a couple of guys who moved. Well, certainly one of the guys from my team. I'm not going to mention it because he'll listen. Who decided to go back to another school because he had a gap opportunity, and he was, approached me and he was really upset, and I said, "I don't, mate. It's you've got to do what's good for you. I'm not, it's not a problem. Go for it.
Oh, good.
You're guaranteed work. I can't guarantee you anything this season, and I've never done that before. I've never been able to say to the team, sorry guys, there's not a number that I can give you, 350 hours, 400 hours. It is take what you get.
Yeah.
Please go to if you get a gap opportunity or something, if you're at that level, take it, and you're always welcome back if you want to come back.
I had that exact same chat with my guys. I gave them a chat. This is when it was feeling pretty dark, like in November, early November, and I had a chat with everyone and said, look, there were no guarantees this season, all bets are off. But you know what? It's turning already turning out better than they thought.
For sure. And actually, feeling up the mountain, like we said, when you were talking about, I think it was Alan Bursey, who's our health minister.
Yeah,
he does all the announcements every week. He was saying, we want people to go skiing because they need to get fresh air. You need to have feel. And he said, when you're up there, it's all the stuff around skiing that's affected: restaurants, masks, that sort of thing. Yeah. When you're actually out there skiing, it's the same as normal, isn't it? It's not like it feels different when you're doing it. So it's great that clients see that and want to come out and do it, because it's not as if it's an oppressive feeling when you're up there. It's not so much.
No, and I think with less overseas tourists also, I think there's going to be less of those kind of, the accidents that they're worried about on the piste. I think there's going to be less of those, and that's what they're concerned about the most. I think is like, skiing is bad equals pressure on the ICUs or pressure on fixing broken legs and arms and whatnot like that. I don't think there's going to be as much of that, because it's just there isn't going to be as many overseas tourists here. I think coming. That's my reading of the situation anyway, but we shall see. I know you're under pressure for time because you've got to get back up, but can I ask you one last thing about I'm curious about how you manage the skiing and teaching styles within your school. Powder Extreme will leave over there because I imagine they have a certain degree of independence, but within performance, do you have a uniform way that you want them to teach and be and ski, or like how does that work out?
Good question. Not really.
Because I'll put my cards on the table. Mine is free form. So
I know that you, when you talk, I think you talked, and you are now spending. Apparently, you're saying that you're spending more time doing a bit of quality control. That was the lofty goal, but this year it's not going to be that. It's going to be on mountain. But I believe in the melting pot of ideas. I've tried it quite a lot. We have these formation weeks. Training weeks at the beginning. We're not doing it this year. I'm not doing it now.
No, you can't.
I haven't seen many of the guys anyway, so it's all been done pretty much like by trust.
Yeah.
Which goes back to the whole point. I think I trust the guys explicitly that they're doing their job correctly. Mm-hmm. It's a strange. You'll understand. It's a strange business to be in because you're not around them a lot. It's not like you go to an office together and you can see what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing a lot of the time. I'm assuming they're all turning up on time and doing a good job. No, I mean, when I've skied, because our team comes from so many different backgrounds in terms of what the associations, Kiwis, lots of Canadians, lots of Basie, Swiss. We've got a German level. I don't even know what the German levels are. Had a Czech until recently. So there are. I'm happy for them to do whatever. I think we did at the beginning. We did have a couple of days where we all got together and just sort of brainstormed a bit ideas, and that was really interesting to see how people approach certain ways of teaching or certain goal-related things or whatever it might be. But the reality is, out of the season, how much teaching do we actually do in terms of a percentage? It's hard to say, but it's not. It's less. It's probably 50%. The rest is mostly guiding.
Yeah.
So it isn't. We get these ones. I mean, they're my pet hates, which are basically, can we just ski around a little bit and get some tips? I mean, do you want a bit of nothing really? You do that, don't you? it's hard to do.
It is hard, yeah.
Without sitting down and sort of semi-deconstructing
Yeah.
something, it's quite hard. Can you give me some tips, or just don't move your arm that way, or whatever? It doesn't always work.
No.
So I try to avoid that, and I guess what I push through to the guys more than anything else, and it's something that I think every instructor, quite a lot of instructors forget to do, and that is just find out early doors what they want.
Yes.
And you know, that's come up in your podcast many a times. I think.
Can get lost because you go with like a
100%
preconceived idea.
And so when we did a formation week, I sort of said to some of the new guys, you know, what's the first thing you do? They're like, oh well, you know, just watch them ski, see how they ski, and then I'll look at how to change it. I'm like, before that.
Yeah.
I'll introduce myself. Okay, after that. There's nothing in between that I'm fishing for here. What is that? And then eventually I go, well, just, you know, get a good understanding by saying, what do you want to do? And quite often they come back going, I don't know, really. Yeah. So that's when you...
Why are you here?
Have a little bit. They used to, you know, they might have, you know, we get quite a lot of that, bizarrely, you know, I don't know, just... show me around a bit. Okay, cool. Well, let's do that. And that's suddenly you're fine. Or you might get, you know, do you know what? I just want to find somewhere where we can where there's no one around and just have a great day skiing. Just show me around, and then maybe just find somewhere nice to eat or whatever, you know, that sort of thing. Simple things. Simple things to do. Simple things to do for the client. But then you might get something. For example, actually, I really want to become a better skier, see all the four valleys, go paragliding, and you're like, oh, hold on a minute, mate, I can't do all that. And that's when it gets hard. You've got, you know, you might have some requirements that are just a little bit over the top, and you just got to manage that. And actually, also, that's quite difficult. But if you haven't asked that question first, how are you gonna? Yeah. And I've had it in the past when I've had some feedback from a client going, look, I don't know what we did today, because that person hadn't really said, had just assumed all they wanted to do was follow them. Yes. You know, error. Suddenly I'm going, okay, well, I'm free. Of course you can have your money back. You know, you didn't get what you want. Yeah. But a simple thing forgotten, just didn't ask what they wanted to do. Yeah. So for me, that is, you know, I think how people teach, you know, you have to trust them, they've done the level. So I don't look too far into... I do want them all to do some sort of CP, you know, if they're all doing that, they have to keep their licence valid anyway, so they're getting the continual progression. But, you know, minimum ISA for us most of the time anyway, so they're at a high-ish level anyway, in terms of...
We're doing that. So I recruit now on that basis as well. Because there are so many ISAs around. Because of the rise of the level 3 gap, or the level 4 gap.
Back in the day they weren't.
No.
And actually, when we started, there weren't that many at all. It was really hard to get hold of them. And it's interesting that one of the reasons why we did performance was because I was getting really quite surprised at how the quality was terrible in some schools, where that you know, too many gappies were involved, and I think that sort of caused clients to go, well, what am I paying 500 francs for? This guy's so hungover he can hardly even walk, you know, and barely ski, and that's it. And then so suddenly ISA, and then when you recruit, it's like, you got an ISA, are you a nice person? That's the bit I'm interested in. Yeah. You know, you a good lad, can you do this job? Yeah, well, then you've got the full package for me. You know, how you teach is being trained by you, by the association. So I'm cool with that.
I'm the same. Like my key criteria, I'm sure I've mentioned this, so all I do is repeat myself in the podcast. But I'm interested in whether you, as a ski instructor, bear this in mind if you're writing to me, I'm interested if you can engage me in a conversation, and I will ring you up on video. And if you're not interested, then we're not gonna make it past the thing. Yeah, and if you know,
it's pretty similar. Actually,
you probably, I would imagine, you get as many CVs as I do, and often they're not very well put together, and often, you know, someone hasn't even bothered to do the whole blind copy thing, so you can see that they've been spammed to every ski school ever.
Classic ones they are.
Yeah, I'm really interested in your ski school because it's interesting to me.
Well, when they put stars and they left the stars in because they hadn't deleted the stars to put in the name in that's another one that I love.
Yeah, and so and there seems to be a massive glut of snowboard instructors as well.
Yeah,
that's the other thing.
I know, and I think
lots of snowboard instructors, but there's no work for you guys.
We've got Rob, who runs Vivid, which is under the same brand. Well, it's another brand of ours, I suppose. He runs it independently. I don't get involved in it at all. He's sort of using their license again, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they do that. They do pretty well, but it's a small sport really. But I think I'll wear the same. Like, you just, as long as they're personable people, they get on there nice, and we're happy with it. Like, I think as soon as I get quite a lot of CVs where I used to laugh, but if anyone's got a degree, I'd throw it in the bin.
Yeah.
Because they'd only last one season.
Yeah.
And actually,
that's interesting.
Because I haven't got a degree, so I thought it's those sort of. I'm not saying you can't be academic in the ski instructor, but I think it lends itself. These sort of sports lend it to people who are more sort of vocational than they are academic. I think it'd be.
I strongly agree with you.
Horrible blanket statement, but
we're big fans of sweeping generalisations.
Totally, and I think there's nothing good about having a high turnover of instructors. So how do you keep the guys sticking around and motivated to do their job? I think we do all right. I think a lot of it is to do with the fact that the pay is reasonable and we guarantee some sort of stability for them.
Yeah,
and that way they go, okay, cool. I can pay my rent. I can get that done. I can do this. Yeah. And the other thing is to treat them like adults. I don't expect anyone to. There's no sort of accountability. Let's just get on with it. As long as we do it well, that's fine.
Yeah.
So it's fun and it's a nice team.
Yeah.
Like your team, probably you're all good friends and you get on.
Yeah, trying to build a team is one of the hardest things, isn't it? Like, in terms of, you can recruit good people, but you don't know until they get here how they're going to mesh. I mean, probably your team, it sounds like it's a bit more established, but...
I mean, most of mine mesh around some drinking of some sort, which I know is not your forte, but I think
used to be.
But it's like, the social aspect's important, and I advocate it quite heavily, and... within reason, but that social environment. That's why this year is different and hard and confusing for people because we don't have any of that. But it proves to me that we don't necessarily need it either, and it's quite good. Yeah. But we do like the socials, and we do like hanging out with each other, and I like hanging out with them as well, which is it's a dangerous mix sometimes. in terms of like getting too close to. Yes, a bit of distance is good sometimes, but I'm not very good at that.
We had this last year. This is you won't mind me mentioning, but Matt, one of the guys who's been with me since the start. He
knows how long though?
Oh, for you? I've known him.
No, but how long have you been around?
But it's about, I think this is year 4 or 5. Can't remember.
Oh, really?
For the ski school, it's not very long. But he's noticed now that he's reached a certain age level where the youngsters are regarding him as one of the old guys.
Oh, don't.
And he notices the difference. So I don't really go to the bar much with the guys because one, I don't drink, but two, I think there should be that separation between when you're the boss, like
I don't do that.
You're the boss, right? Yeah. But he's noticed that he's sort of slipped into the older age category, so the youngsters kind of really, they look at him as one of the old guys. Brilliant. He's a nightmare. He's only like
it's worse for me because I'm still the old guy, but they still quite like going to me. But it's
that's good for you.
It is a dangerous game to play.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it backfires, and
you're trying to be like one of the guys, just sort of that David Brent character.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm exactly that. The embarrassing guy. We had a pre-season party where we had a fondue. No, it was a raclette in a brewery. We had a piss up in a brewery, literally in Martigny. A friend of mine who's gone now, sadly, Gareth, who brewed beer here called Alias.
Oh wow!
And so we went to his brewery, and I surprised everyone. I didn't say about the food, so we just went down and had drinks, and everyone says brilliant, piss up in a brewery, playing pool and stuff. And then we went to the other part of the brewery, and there's a full on raclette guys sitting in. Cool. It was awesome, and then we got a band in.
Yeah.
And then I did the David Brent special and started dancing.
Oh,
and
no.
Mate, what was I doing? And then it was all on video. And then they were posting it everywhere. So it's a dangerous game.
It is.
And I generally make a tit of it. But
well, look, as long as you're aware of it, that's the main thing.
I don't really care to be honest.
How can aspiring ski instructors, snowboard instructors get in touch with you? No, how can if people want to get in touch with you for whatever reason? Give yourself a free plug. So, what would you? Where can people find you or your ski schools?
Performanceverbier.com is the website for performance. Powder-extreme.com is Powder Extreme. I'm on Toby at performanceverbier.com. By all means. I mean, I'm recruiting French speakers. Anyone who speaks French. I mean, not for this season,
my hand
much, but no. By all means, it's for sure. It would be good to talk to people and. Yeah, we do get a lot of CVs, but it's not masses. And we look through them all and we try to see if they're the right people for the job, for sure.
And people should definitely come ski with your ski school and for the off-piste element.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, and go and ski with the ski school that has got the coolest name in the Alps.
Love it. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.